New comic book day is upon us once again. So let's take a look at what's on the pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly series where I take a look at all the books coming out. I'll tell you which ones I'm most excited for, which ones I'm a little behind on, and we'll even talk about some new trade paperbacks hitting the market for this week in comics Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. The year is quickly passing us by, just like the Far Side said. But yeah, it's a crazy week for new comics. I can tell you this right now. There are a million comics coming out. I'm over budget by like $30. It is wild out there. And chances are you got a heavy list coming this week as well. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Before we do though, gotta give a quick shout out to this week's winner, the final winner of the Panel Bound Comics $50 gift card giveaway. You guys are going to think I'm lying, but it's right here on the screen. My man, William Ferguson, won 2 weeks in a row. Now, at first, it didn't feel fair to allow someone to win 2 weeks in a row. There were only 3 entries this week, so he had a 30% chance of winning. But I drew the name twice. I literally did it back to back twice, and he won both times. So even if it was best 2 out of 3, my man William won. So congratulations, sir. You've won back-to-back Panel Bound Comics gift cards. I will make sure the team sends those your way. And man, it's been a really cool to see you guys' response to the equipment fundraiser sale. I'm really excited that I've been able to give back to you as you have supported the channel. So huge thanks to the folks at Panel Bound Comics for doing that for you guys and for sponsoring a later segment of the show we like to call Trade Waiting. But let's not put the cart before the horse. First, we got to talk about the books at the top of the pile. These are the books waiting for me at my LCS, Fight or Flight Comics in Raleigh. These are the books I'm most excited to read, usually based on my enjoyment of the previous issue, but I'm making an exception in the case of this one. This is Batman Static Beyond, issue number 1. This is written by Evan Narcisse with art by Nikolas, Draper, Ivey, who of course is no stranger to my man Static. Also not a stranger to Batman Beyond. This technically you could see as a continuation of a story and idea that Nick did back in the milestone 30th anniversary celebration nearly 2 years ago. That's crazy. Does not feel like it's been that long. Then again, it doesn't feel like it's been 5 years since I started this YouTube channel now, does it? But anyway, this, takes place in an alternate future. It's an Elseworlds title. And in this future, it's kind of like the Justice League Unlimited future where Static ends up being on the Justice League and is one of the most powerful members. In fact, Static and Batman Beyond are both members of the Justice League in this book. And Static is serving as a bit of a mentor figure to Terry McGinnis. And the idea of an older Static who, like we know, ends up being one of the most powerful superheroes in history is really exciting. The way he flexed his skills, his powers in that 30th anniversary special has me really excited to see how it is in this now 6-issue miniseries. We're only going to have Nikolas, Draper, Ivey on art for the first 2 issues. I'm very excited about those 2 issues. And even after he leaves, we've got art by Miguel Mendoza, I believe is how you say his name. And bro, I hadn't heard that name before, but I checked out his Instagram and saw some pages that are upcoming. This book is going to be like that. The only thing that could potentially hold it back. Evan Narcisse is a comic writer and historian. The most recent thing I remember him being on was that Sam Wilson Captain America series that came out around the time of the Captain America movie, Brave New World. Was it Brave New World? Anyway, that series. The thing is, Evan Narcisse, like I said, is a comic writer and historian. And sometimes the historian part feels like it kind of comes before the comic writer part. And it almost feels like you kind of trip over the history facts trying to read the story. And it can be distracting at points. The other thing is that, sometimes it's like, I don't know if I would call it fan service or like self-service, but this sounds like a heavy critique. But my point just being, sometimes you feel the fan service, and sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's like, I might have wanted more attention to go into like the story or like tightening up dialogue or what have you. But this story arc, for example, is called Shadow War, which if you're a Milestone fan like I am, you'll know that's the title of a crossover event that Milestone did in the 90s. And so I feel like there's going to be a lot of like callbacks and, little breadcrumbs here and there. Hopefully the breadcrumbs are just breadcrumbs, and it's not like you're walking in the story and step on a loaf and you're like, oh snap, what's that on my shoe? I don't know. I'm terrible at these analogies. Anyway, Batman Static Beyond, issue number 1. I'm very excited for it. Cover price on that is $4.99. Next up is Ancestral Recall, issue number 4. This written by Jordan Clark and Adigan Ilhan, who, speaking of Milestone, are both alums of the Milestone Initiative Talent Development Program. This following an artist who is trying to find his wife kind of across time. There's like it's kind of classic sci-fi where there's an evil corporation at the helm. He's got to fight against it to, get back with his wife. As you can see, she might make an appearance in this issue. How so? I don't know. I haven't read it yet. The cool thing though is that this dude has the power to basically recall any powers from any historical Black figure. And so you're learning about a lot of real life Black history figures while you're reading this book. And so far it has not felt like preachy or like tripping over loaves of bread, if we want to keep that one going. So cool stuff. Cover price on that is $4.99. Next up is Marvel Knights, The World to Come, issue number 4. This written by Christopher Priest with art by Joe Quesada. It's actually co-written, co-plotted, I don't know, but they both kind of have that writer's credit. This book is really good. It is creeping up my list of my favorite books of 2025. And, a lot of people got caught up in the, what I like to call the racial hijinks of it all. A lot of people got caught up in just the fact that there's this white Black Panther and all that going on. But what I've really been intrigued by, that's probably the best word for this book in general. It's very intriguing. Like everything you read makes you want to read more. Priest does a great job of kind of laying the breadcrumb trail and really letting you, the reader, do the work of picking it up, following it, connecting the dots, and in some ways almost choosing your own adventure. It's been really cool. But for me, some of the most fun is reading the back matter. There are like these scholarly journal entries in the back of the book kind of teaching us about Wakandan culture, as we may have misunderstood it through whatever our other interactions with Wakanda have been. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting over a cold and my voice is going, apparently. But we're getting these journal entries to kind of correct whatever misgivings or misinformation we may have, misperceptions we may have about Wakanda. And I have been loving that. So the journal entries work, and then the timeline works to kind of recontextualize and reframe what you may know previously about Christopher Priest's Marvel Knights Black Panther run, and how the stuff that happened way back then and even in T'Challa's overall history have shaped and led to the moment that we're in right now. Speaking of that moment, the world to come, we should get a little bit more understanding about exactly what that is in this issue 4. I'm very excited for it. Cover price on that is $4.99. And the last book at the top of the pile this week is Roots of Madness, issue number 2. This written by Stephanie Williams, the homie, with art. I should have just written it down. The art is by Letizia Cadenici. I really loved issue 1. This young lady, Etta, is kind of the latest in a line of herbalists in her family. And of course, this is a period piece. I want to say it's set in was it the 1920s? The point is, it's set way back when, some of us weren't allowed to go as far in the sciences as others. Etta finally has a chance to go to like, you know, a college and really learn. Am I mistaken? Did she go to Fisk? Or am I just conflating that with like the TV show Roots, The Next Generation? Anyway, so she's been able to go to college and kind of learn science to back up all of this, what would you say, instinctual and family heirloom type recipes that she's gotten. She's got this notebook. It's been really cool. Anyway, there are some sinister forces at work. We got to see a small glimpse of the sinister hand at work in issue 1. This is billed as a cosmic horror book, so I expect it's going to get a lot more sinister as the series goes on. We'll see how it goes in issue 2. Cover price on that is $4.99. And that was the last book at the top of the pile. Now, let's talk about some new series debuts that are on the radar this week. On the radar, a segment again for new series debuts, new jumping on points for new readers. And man, there's a lot of them. I'm only covering 7 today. And let's just say there's a lot to choose from. Starting with 1776, issue number 1. 1776 is a Marvel book written. Who's writing 1776? I had it right there on the tip of my tongue. I know the art is by Ron Lim and Sean Damian Hill. The writer is J. Michael Straczynski, JMS, the beloved JMS. Now, I don't know where this falls, like if this is can be seen as a sequel or a successor to Marvel 1602, but this is going to see our Marvel heroes basically fighting to protect the founding fathers of America, to make sure that America gets founded correctly. I'm curious to see like how that lines up with like the history we're taught in public schools versus the history that we know from just scholarly research versus, you know, revisionist history, or if it's just like, I don't know, if it's going to feel like Hysteria. Remember that show on WB, Kids WB? Anyway, Marvel heroes with George Washington. That Barack Obama homage cover is kind of fun. Cover price on that is $4.99. Next up is Colossal Kaya, issue number 1. Kaya, I don't know. People have been recommending this book to me like since it started coming out. I've never read an issue. I kind of want to read an issue. So I don't think I pre-ordered this. This is going to be like a big mashup anthology. Lots of writers, lots of artists on this ongoing story, but it's also going to feature, I want to say, a 6-page intro. So it's actually working as a good jumping on point for new readers like myself as well. Cover price on that is just $4.99. Next up, from my friends at Dynamite, is Gargoyles Fantastic Four, issue number 1. This being the second one-shot in the Gargoyles and Fantastic Four team up. So we had a Marvel issue last month. This is the Dynamite issue. It's written by Greg Weisman, who wrote the other issue as well. This one's got art by fantastic Dynamite artist George Campadeus. George Campadeus has been doing Gargoyles pretty much since the beginning of Dynamite's Gargoyles era in 2023 that started. It's been a minute. I love the Marvel version. I expect I'm going to love this one as well. Cover price on that is $5.99. Next up, Peter Cannon Thunderbolt, issue number 1. I know nothing about Peter Cannon Thunderbolt, but the cover was really cool. And it's got interior art by Jonathan Lau. Now, let's just go ahead and take a look, because I don't remember who is. Oh, it's Fred Van Lente. Fred Van Lente is writing this, and Peter Cannon Thunderbolt is he's a martial artist, a millionaire martial artist is how it's built on this. So it looks interesting. The cover looks good. Like I said, it's got art by Jonathan Lau, who has been doing art on Space Ghost for the last couple of years. I expect it's going to be cool. Cover price on that one is $4.99. And rounding out the Dynamite trifecta this week is Thundercats Panthro, issue number 1. This is written by Ed Brisson. Who's the artist on Thundercats Panthro? That is going to be Dave Acosta. Thundercats, Panthro. It's funny, you know, we have the running joke online that Panthro is clearly a black man, right? He is voiced by a black man, or I should say was. He was voiced by Earl Hyman, who was the granddad on The Cosby Show. Love that dude. And maybe that's why we all were just like, yeah, man, that's a black man. Plus, Panthro was kind of like playing Lionel's daddy at times. So you just felt that authority. There's just a certain je ne sais quoi, a certain Joe Jackson of it all. Anyway, cover price on Panthro #1. It's a one shot. Just focus on Panthro. It's $5.99. Next up is TMNT Godzilla, issue #1. This written by Tim Seeley. And quite honestly, I would not have been so hyped for this if not for such stellar comics coming from IDW on both the TMNT front and the Godzilla front. I've been loving the Kaisei era of Godzilla, and y'all already know that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is probably my favorite ongoing book of this year. They're still battling it out, but it's very high up there. If it's not one, it's probably #2. And yeah, so I've been loving that. Seeing how they mash up, how they come together, it's gonna be fun. And the fact that Tim Seeley, who is writing at least one of those Godzilla titles, if not the main one, if I remember correctly, is writing this, makes me even more excited. Cover price on that's $4.99. And the last book on the radar, I'm rushing through these because my voice is not working with me, but Poison Ivy Annual #1, the 2025 annual, written by G. Willow Wilson. This one's got art by Mark Buckingham, who I thought was beefing with DC Comics, but apparently is not beefing with DC Comics. I don't know if that means Fables is back in the public domain or not, if that ever worked out. But Poison Ivy, people have been telling me, just like they've been talking about Kaya, everyone who I know who has read Poison Ivy from the beginning is like, yo, this is one of the best ongoing books. I've not been reading it, so this annual should be a good time to check it out. Get a good one and done story with a cool artist on it. That'll be cool. Cover price on that is $5.99. And man, I told you, I'm already over budget. I like to do a quick budget check after I talk about the books on the radar to see like how much it's really going to cost me if I add some of this stuff to the pull list. But this week, there are already 17 books on my pull list, including Batman Static Beyond and Gargoyles Fantastic Four #1. So if I'm going to add anything to the list, I got to take something off because my total, I have a grand total right now of $81.11. So yeah, I got to lose some books. And I thought maybe next week would be a light week and it'll balance it out. It's better, but it's not much better. So we definitely got to make some cuts. Let's talk about what else is in the box, what we got to choose from. These are all the books on my pull list that I haven't named already at Fight or Flight Comics. And we're going to go through this list and see if there's anything that we can put back to save some money in this budget, because $30 over budget is not going to get it. It's not going to get it, especially with the holidays coming up. So first up is Action Comics issue 1092. Mark Waid, Skylar Patridge. I think Skylar is off art duties this issue. By all accounts, this book is good. And it wasn't bad. I'm not mad at it or anything like that. I've been enjoying the other Superman titles so much that I feel like I don't need this throwback. What if Clark Kent showed up in Metropolis as a kid? I just don't need that story month to month. So I probably could drop to trade on that. But the cover price on that is $4.99. Next up is Batman 162. Hush 2 Part 4 is 4 months late. How do I feel about that? I don't know. I take it or leave it. I probably should leave it, but then there would be a hole in my Batman collection. Anyway, $4.99 on that. Next up is Batman Dark Patterns issue #12. This series I slept on for most of the year, but I've been following the last story arc, which does come to an end with this issue. Bro, Hayden Sherman is a beast, and Dan Waters is amazing. I knew Dan Waters was amazing, but Hayden Sherman is a beast. Had to say it twice. Cover price on this is $4.99. Next up, Court, Children of the Round Table, Tom Taylor, Danielle Dinaculo. This is like the Power Rangers meets I don't know, a kid in King Arthur's court, or what is it? What's the other one? King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. It's kind of all that mashed up into one. These swords, these weapons, once that kind of contain the spirit of the Knights of the Round Table. So like Lancelot and King Arthur, and that's all I can name because I'm not super well versed in Arthurian literature, but they all find homes in these weapons that are discovered by these teenagers. Are they teenagers? Are they preteens? They're kind of young kids, and hijinks ensue. This book has been fun. It's an all ages creator-owned title that I probably could wait for in trade, but it's just one of those bright spots, one of those palate cleanser books. You always need those on the list, right? Next up, Fantastic Four, issue number 5, Ryan North, Humberto Ramos. One World Under Doom dragging on as long as it has kind of ruined my enthusiasm for a lot of the main Marvel stuff. And this is no difference. I'm two issues behind, so maybe there's room to cut that one. $3.99 is cover price though. Next up, Green Lantern Corps, issue number 10. Yes, I added Green Lantern Corps back to the pull list after taking a break for the Starbreaker Supremacy because my man Mo Hampton is on the full-time writer duties. No more co-writing. He is taking over the book and taking it in a slightly new direction. I've gotten a little bit of a sneak peek as to what's coming up, and I'm excited about it. Therefore, this book's on my pull list, and I recommend you put it on yours as well, especially if you are a fan of Jon Stewart. $3.99 is cover price on that. Next up is the series conclusion of Mr. Terrific Year 1. Issue number 6 is out this week. Al Letson, Val DeLandro, Edwin Galman. Prayers up to you, bro, and your family. But Edwin Galman on art as well. This book has been amazing. Mr. Terrific is having a year right now. There he is right there on my shelf. Having a year, a banner year, if you will. Love seeing him as Superman. Love the level up he's gotten on the Justice League right now during this DCKO event. And I love this origin story kind of recontextualizing or adding context, I should say. Not necessarily changing it, but adding more context to the circumstances surrounding him becoming Mr. Terrific in the early days. I'm loving it. I really have no notes for this series. I'm going to be sad to see it go. I wish it would like get extended, or maybe they get an ongoing later on or something, but you never know. It might be in the cards. Cover price on that is $4.99. Next up is Rogue Storm, issue number 2. It's an Age of Revelation tie-in. That one I could probably definitely skip. It's written by Murewa Ayodele, who I have loved his mainline Storm run. It's one of the only From the Ashes titles I'm reading, and it actually is going to make it to the best of 2025 for me. Age of Revelation, however, is a non-starter. I have not even tried to get into that. Therefore, I probably don't need Rogue Storm. Issue 2's out this week. Cover price is $3.99. Next up is Street Sharks, issue number 2. I could probably skip this. It's written by my homie Stephanie Williams. Art by, through the magic of editing, it's Ariel Medell. I really loved issue 1. It's got all the 90s puns and the cool, like, the classic, like, okay, are these new heroes helping us or hurting us? Are they causing problems? Or are they solving problems? And, you know, if you feel like they're causing problems, that's probably not helped by the fact that they are giant anthropomorphic sharks. So I love the sort of crux of the story that is there, but I also just love all the 90s hijinks, the puns, the action verbs, and the extreme sports, like all of it. All of it is just, it feels like I'm a kid again, and it's Saturday morning. Cover price on issue 2 is $4.99. Next up is a series I'm super behind on. In fact, 2 of them. The first is Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, issue number 4. It's a miniseries. I think issue 5 is the final issue. So I'm gonna continue buying it. I bought it because my man Skip and Tosh was such a huge fan of the creative team, which, by the way, is the same creative team behind Ice Cream Man. But I just hadn't gotten into it. I'm so behind on so many books because I've been doing a whole lot this last quarter and raising a baby, you know. But cover price on this is $5.99. Next up, Ultimate Black Panther, issue 22. It feels like since they announced the Ultimate Endgame and that we really are getting the end of this universe at issue 24 of everything, I can't say I've lost interest, but I've certainly lost the sense of urgency to keep up with what's going on. It feels like I could just kind of binge read it later and still get the same effect. We'll see. Cover price on that's $4.99. And the last book on my pull list this week is Uncle Scrooge, issue number 2 from Fantagraphics. I am loving. Like, Duck Comics has been one of my favorite things this year. I had not read many Duck Comics before this year, but Dynamite did the DuckTales book, and that was kind of a primer. I've been reading a bunch of Fantagraphics collections this year, and now we got a new ongoing Duck series in Uncle Scrooge. Issue 2's out this week. Cover price is $5.99. I'm trying not to interrupt this recording by getting up to get water, but man, it's hard. But it's late at night. I got to get this done. So that was it. That's everything that's in my box right now at Fight or Flight Comics. Like I said, 17 books for an out the door total of $81.11. That's crazy. It doesn't happen super often. I just did a big purge on the pull list like 3 months ago. There's just that much good stuff coming out these days, which is dangerous, man. It's dangerous. Anyway, it's time for the final segment of the show. We like to call it Trade Waiting. And like I said, it's brought to you by the folks at Panel Bound Comics, my favorite place to look for collected editions. This segment, you're going to learn about some new series that are being collected into paperback form for the first time. So you can walk into your LCS, you could walk into your local bookstore, you can even go on Amazon and find these stories and kind of sit and binge read them all in one sitting. Starting with Green Lantern Corps Volume 1. This written by Jeremy Adams and Mo Hampton, as I mentioned before. This basically bringing all the lanterns that are not named Hal Jordan into a book to have fun stories. I think this series really hits its stride toward the middle of this first volume. You kind of get like an A story and a B story, almost like Justice League Unlimited did, where like you would get like 2 or 3 characters, have them have some sort of character developing moments with each other, and then swap them out and do new adventures and stuff like that. I enjoyed the first volume of this. After this, you get the Starbreaker Supremacy, and then you can jump in with the issue that just came out this week. So you could probably skip the Starbreaker Supremacy. I'm sure they're going to explain enough of it in this issue for you to just kind of go in with a clean slate. So read volume 1, then read issue 10. If you're missing anything, don't come at me. It's on DC Infinite. Cover price on that is $17.99. Next up, Invincible Universe presents Battle Beast, Volume 1, The Heart of Glory. Robert Kirkman, Ryan Ottley returning to the Invincible Universe. Battle Beast, I read the first issue, and quite honestly, I don't think you need to have read a bunch of Invincible to enjoy it. I dropped it because I hadn't read a bunch of Invincible and because I needed some room on the pull list because, again, budget. But I'm excited to check out the collected edition. $16.99 is cover price on that. Next up, Mo 2, Masters of the Universe, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Turtles of Grayskull, Volume 1. It's the only volume. This book feels like it was just made to sell toys, and quite honestly, the toys look really cool. So if you needed a reason to go play with the toys that you picked up at Walmart, pick up this trade. It'll give you even more story to play with, and now you can bang your action figures together with more story context. Cover price on that is $19.99. Next up is Transformers Volume 4, Conquer and Control. This is Daniel Warren Johnson and Jorge Corona, and this is their final story arc on Transformers. This will get you issues, 18 or 19 through 24. And again, that's where the run ends. Actually, that's pretty quick for that trade to come out. That's dope. Cover price on that is $16.99. And finally, the last book we're covering tonight is Ultimate X-Men Volume 3, The Realm of the Mind. Peach Momoko is doing the Lord's work on this series. This book was the one that was the most out of left field for me, the one that was hardest to stick with. I'm glad I've stuck with it because I've really been enjoying this, and I think you will too. If you've gotten to Volume 3, You already know what you love about the series, and it just keeps getting better. Cover price on that is $19.99. And whew, I told you, there were a lot of books to cover this week. I picked the wrong week to have a cold and try to talk to y'all for 30 minutes. But anyway, 5th Channel Anniversary Livestream going up this Wednesday, tomorrow, I think, as you're watching this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Giving away a bunch of prizes. I got some single issues. I got some collected editions. I got some epic collections. Probably even got a couple of hardcovers that'll be up for grabs. But you gotta join us in the live chat for your chances to win. I'll see you there. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace. It's my weekly series where I take a look at all the books coming out. I'll tell you which ones I'm most excited about. I'll tell you which ones I'm a little behind on. We'll even talk about some new trade paperbacks hitting the market. Let's try that again.